Hello again, it's me. So today I want to talk about ADHD and relationships and the link between them, and how one can really affect the other massively. I'm going to be going over both friendships and romantic relationships, and I'll give the point of view of the person with ADHD and the partner or the friend in question as well. Apologies for the sunglasses, you can't see my eyes. It's really sunny and I can't see what I'm doing. So ADHD itself can cause huge frustrations, resentments, misunderstandings, and guilt even in the closest of relationships. The most common cause that I've found of frictions stem from kind of the impulsivity, distractibility, and the disorganization that comes part and parcel with ADHD. So a good example of where you might get some frustrations are someone blurting something out without thinking, not paying attention during a conversation, for instance, and that might lead to someone feeling like the friend or the significant other feeling ignored and possibly even devalued. Timekeeping is another one, so always showing up late or not at all when it comes to meeting people, be that your partner or your friend, can be a huge cause of friction. In romantic relationships, if you're the person with ADHD, I found it's really easy to feel somewhat micromanaged and criticised despite your efforts with whatever it might be. I have personally felt like I haven't been respected as an adult, and as though life's become much more serious since the beginning of that relationship. From the partner's perspective, on the other hand, I know my own partner definitely has felt in the past as though she's the only responsible party in between the two of us. She's also told me that at times she feels quite lonely, isolated and underappreciated, because maybe I overlook certain things that she does. Friendships are affected in similar ways, but they have a tendency to be strained more so by timekeeping and reliability on the part of the friend, and judgment and isolation as the sufferer of ADHD. So firstly, within romantic relationships, one trick, I suppose, that works for both parties, and I've definitely used it in the past, me and my partner, is to put yourself in the other person's shoes, and at the same time explain what's bothering you at that time. When you do so, it's really important to try and employ as much empathy for your partner, be it the ADHD sufferer to their partner or the partner to the ADHD sufferer. In regards to friendships, I've found the biggest difference for me has been when I've educated those people closest to me on how ADHD actually makes my brain work. Giving them that sort of insight has allowed them to separate sort of me from my ADHD, and they can sometimes place blame on the disorder and not entirely on me as a person, giving me a little bit of breathing room, I suppose. One thing with that though is you do have to be really careful when separating you and your disorder, that you don't use it as just a scapegoat. It should be at your friend's discretion when they want to blame the ADHD. You may say that it was because of it, but in all honesty, if you look back, it might just have been that you were lazy that day, or you just didn't want to, you felt really anxious, for instance. And you've got to know the difference between the two, otherwise it's a bit like the boy who cried wolf. You'll use the same excuse every time, that it was your ADHD, when in actual fact it may have just been you that time. So when it comes to ADHD and relationships overall, I found that everything really comes back to openness, communication, and non-judgment between both parties, however difficult that might be. And I know for sure that it can be really difficult to open up. But yeah, that's all for today's video. It's just a little bit of an insight on how I have felt my friendships and relationships, romantic ones, have been affected by my ADHD. Any questions on that, because it is quite a broad topic, do leave them down below. Thanks to those who are engaging down in the comments as well. I really appreciate everyone's questions and their own experiences. And thank you to the people who are engaging with me on Reddit as well. If you want to do so, my Reddit username is Ollie, O-L-L-I-E, Ed, E-D-B, so Ollie Ed B. And thank you again to those who have subscribed. I really appreciate you keeping up to date with what's going on in my life, and I hope you get some sort of benefit from watching these videos as well. So I'll see you in the next one, I suppose. Ciao.